Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna show you how to export different versions of a song or a cue in Cubase at the same time, which is useful if you have, for example, to send to a publisher or a client different versions of the track you recorded, or if you just need a version of the song with a click, a version without click, a version with vocals, a version without vocals, and so on. Okay, you can mute, unmute the tracks you don't need and make a new export each time, but in my opinion it's a bit time consuming because you have to mute one track, then wait until the export is over, then unmute the track, mute another track you don't need, and wait again until the new export is over. If instead you do a few more passages when you are preparing your mixing session, you can get ready to export all the versions you need at once. So Cubase has an interesting function, which is the routing summing mode. To activate this function, you just have to go to the inspector, then direct routing, and click on this button. And you will see that the slot color turns to blue, which means the summing mode is on. I usually send all the track of the same family to a group channel, which comes particularly useful when I have to stem my tracks for a publisher, for example, because I can just export all the groups as individual channels and I'm done. So what I'm going to do next is to create more group tracks which I will use to export the different cue versions. Basically, my routing is individual tracks go to the family group, and then each of these groups will go to the stereo out and then to other group tracks that I will need when I have to export the different track versions. So when you have your basic session ready with groups, VCA, whatever you need, plugins, and you want to create other group tracks for the version export, at this point you have to activate the summing mode on all the tracks you want to route. So first of all, I'm going to create as many new group tracks as the version I want to export. To do that, you can click on letter T or press on this button, add track, or even go to project, add track, and then add group track, and here you can write every information you need. So I press T and then go to group, and let's say we want 4 versions, the full mix, one version without choir, one version without percussion, and one version of the full mix with click. So I'm going to create 4 new tracks that I will color in a different way, and then I'm going to rename them, for example, song full mix, song no choir, song no percussion, and song with click. Okay, now I have to activate the summing mode for all these tracks, so I will select all of them, and a quick way is to press Alt Shift and click on that, and you see that the summing mode is applied to all the selected tracks. So next step is to send a specific track to the version in which that track needs to be. So for example, for the full mix I need all of them. I select again all of them, and then Alt Shift and go to select song full mix, and I can check that it's on all of them. To the no choir version I have to send all these tracks but the choir, and same to the no percussion versions, I have to send all these tracks but the percussions. And then I will send all of them to the song with click. Finally, to create a click track, I just have to go to Project, Signature Track, and render audio click between locators. And here I can see my click track, which I will route just to this group track. Okay, let's go back to the main session. So this function lets you send one track to different routing options, and they are independent. So you can select all of them or just one of them. Of course, you have to keep in mind that if you select all of them, they will play simultaneously. This will come useful later. When you work on the session, you just have to keep the stereo out on. So you don't have 4 times the audio signal, but you just have the audio signal coming out from the main output only. As you can see. So when I finished my song, when I made my mix, or just when I need to send out as a reference to other musicians or customer a different version, you just have to deactivate the stereo output from these tracks and activate the other routing options. Okay, now let's try if this routing actually works. So I'm going to solo the full mix and play this last part of the song. Okay, now the version without choir. The version without percussion. And the version with click. Which is of course out of tempo because I did not set an actual click for this mixing session. But this works, so all we have to do now is to unmute all the tracks and then export this. So I'm going to the export panel and then I will select multiple and I will check the group tracks I've just created. You can also customize the name of the tracks, so you can, for example, put the project name, channel number, channel name, even a free text. If you have particular name schemes you use for different kind of situations, you can also create a new scheme and add the attributes you want, and you can rename these, for example, song. And anytime you open Cubase, you can select the scheme you want to use, so you are all set up with one click. At this point, I choose the file format and then I start the export. Okay, I hope this video was useful to you, and if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel, put a like on the video, and if you have any comments or any discussion, any other point of view about this topic, feel free to comment below and I'll be happy to talk about it. It's all for today, see you soon on the next tutorial.